Authorities in India say at least 288 people have been killed in a railway accident in the east of the country. Hundreds more were injured in what's being called the worst train accident in decades. Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited the crash site just a short time ago, and he said that he was distressed by the devastation. His government has promised all possible assistance.
Rescue workers continue to search the wreckage, hoping to find survivors still trapped in the mangled rail cars. They use electric saws to cut through the twisted metal, as well as trained sniffer dogs. But the rescue operation is slowly morphing into a recovery operation as more and more bodies are pulled out of carriages following India's deadliest train crash in decades. The derailment happened in the eastern state of Odisha, about 220 kilometers southwest of Kolkata. The nighttime accident led to chaotic scenes with rescue workers and locals climbing into cars, some with cutting torches, to free survivors. Many were rushed to local hospitals. Those that could got private transport.
As I stepped out of the washing room, suddenly the train tilted. I lost my balance. I held onto something. I almost fell. My body tilted. My slippers, my bag, everything went flying. People started falling on each other. I was in total shock. I could not understand what happened. My mind stopped working. The whole coach was tilted.
The arrival of daylight brought with it a clearer picture of the scale of the disaster. The cause of the derailment is still not clear, neither is the final death toll, which is expected to rise. India has a long history of deadly train crashes. The country has invested heavily in the system in recent years, but it hasn't been enough to overcome decades of neglect.
DW's South Asia Bureau Chief Amrita Chima is in Delhi, and she gave us an update from the site of the train crash.
Marina, there's a huge sense of shock in India over this train accident, which involved 3 trains, which is unusual. Now, night is falling at the crash site. Politicians and officials have been there throughout the day inspecting the scene of the accident and have promised to take action against those who were responsible. And these were also the words of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who was also at the crash site. And they have also been trying to remove the wreckage now. If you see the crash site, you can see the mangled wreckage, and which gives an indication of just how high impact this collision was, because 2 of the trains involved were super express trains. So people are trying to clear the wreckage because this is a very important train route. Several trains dozens of trains in fact, have been diverted and terminated for the moment till this route is made clear again.
And now we do know that India does have a history of deadly rail accidents, but it seems that in recent decades at least, there were not these types of really enormous disasters. Is there speculation on what could have been the cause of this particular derailment?
Well, this is the question everyone is asking. But you must remember that the Indian Railways is one of the biggest railway networks in the world, and they carry millions and millions of passengers every day. Given that their record of accidents is not that poor, but every time there's a deadly accident, and this is the worst accident in this century, people ask these questions. Now, in this case, an investigation is going to be launched, a high-powered investigation, but initial reports suggest, or in the initial sequence of events, suggests that one train got derailed and hit into a stationary goods train on another track. And this derailment led to carriages being flung over to the opposite side of the rail track where another train was coming, and that hit into these carriages and got derailed as well. So this explains the huge impact of this accident, which involved 3 trains. Now, there are some sort of speculation that there could have been a signal failure or an operational failure. But one thing which is also pretty critical is that India has developed an anti-collision system just last year, but on this route it was not operational, and which could have possibly averted a disaster of this scale.
That was DW's Amrita Chima reporting from Delhi. Amrita, thank you so much for bringing us up to speed.